Driver, we lost. Driver, where you going? You know what? You know what? Sometimes I feel like when you have a GPS system, you really just wish that they tell you when you're going the wrong way. Yeah. You know, you're driving in the car, and the car, you know, and it says make a turn right at da 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 da, and you don't turn right, and it doesn't say anything. It just kind of lets you stew in it for a little while, and you just kind of, all right, like, so when's the right? And you don't even know you missed it because the GPS doesn't say anything. So I proposed a more logical GPS would tell you what was really going on, and you know, part of it is maybe it's about being Caribbean person, and particularly Jamaicans. I'm not gonna say it's a Jamaican accent per se, but it's definitely Caribbean of some sort. But you know, when you're in a car with a driver, you're gonna kill me. You're trying to kill me now. You know what it is? I'm trying to live today. I'm trying to get to destination B. Would you like to get there alive too?
Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
Would you really?
I'm trying my best. I'm driving this car.
You turned the car the wrong way long ago, man. We've been lost for 20 minutes. Why you didn't pay attention last time I tell you to turn?
I was getting ready to.
You was getting ready to. You didn't turn. You don't turn the car, we don't go nowhere. What you want me to do? You want me to turn the car? I'm not a driver, I'm a GPS. You a driver. That is your only job.
You know, for a GPS, you're kind of sassy.
You know what? You're paying money for this? You should have a sassy GPS. Tell you what to do.
You know, but I like the GPS that goes high there, recalculating.
Well, you didn't pay for that one. That one is extra money. This is a cheap GPS, man. You know, a nice high class GPS tell you, hello sir, and welcome to the GPS system. We're gonna drive you today. Well, you make a right there. Oh, you don't want to make a right? That's all right. You know, we're gonna wait for it. We're gonna wait for it. You going somewhere else today? That's all right. We're gonna recalibrate. You know, it's all right. But you know, you pay for what you get.
Yes.
You done paid for that. You pay for a GPS that just holler at you. You pay for a wife that holler at you too, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
yeah.
You know, if you give them a ring, you give a cheap ring. The woman who take a cheap ring is the same kind of woman as the GPS I am. You gotta be careful.
She'd be mad.
You gotta be careful. You want to drive right? I'm gonna tell you. You got to listen. If you don't listen, you're not gonna get where you're gonna go.
But I gotta go to grandma's house.
You don't know your grandma. Tell me your address. What you want me to do?
The address is 716 South 15th Street.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, make a left, make a right, go straight, 2 miles, 0.2 miles. Okay, you're doing it. Now, I just want you to make the turn. Why are you gonna miss the turn if you're going to your grandma's house? You never been to your grandmother's house before?
I was really trying to find a short. Don't you know any shortcuts?
If you want a shortcut, order a person. It's not my job to tell you a shortcut. It's my job to tell you directions. I tell you direction. I tell you where you're going. I'm gonna get you there. We may take an hour longer. We may take 20 minutes longer. You don't know how long it's gonna take, but I'm gonna get you there.
You know, I'm thinking maybe that. Do you keep track of the gas?
That ain't my job. You pay me for tell you directions. I'm gonna tell you directions. You want somebody to tell you the gas? You're gonna pay for the gas. You're gonna pay for someone to say, you have now used 5 gallons. Empty. That's not my job.
Oh my goodness.
There's only so much one person can do, and one person does a lot more than one GPS. You know, I just a voice. You know, I just a voice. Oh Lord, the thing die. You know how it is, man. You know how it is, boy. Oh yes, it's dead, Lord. You get a cheap thing. It's cheap. You pay for cheap thing, you're gonna get it. I tell you, I warn you.
You know, I think I'm gonna take this GPS back.
You can take it back if you want to, but I love to be used. You know, I tell you straight. I tell you which way to go. I tell you if you're not going because of the other GPS, my price line, they're gonna tell you nothing. They're gonna sit there in silence and watch you make mistake. What kind of person is that? You want a person like that just sit there and listen, watch you make mistake? I'm gonna watch you. I'm gonna watch you. See what he gonna do. He wanna make a left over there. I tell him I make a right. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. I wait. I'm not that kind of person. I tell you which way. You're going wrong. Turn yourself. That's a cow. Don't hit it. You see me?
I see.
I'm gonna tell you. Maybe I tell you traffic. You're lucky.
Oh, how about the restaurants? You know, the GPS my friend has you can like put in restaurants. He tell you where the Red Lobster is.
I gonna tell you, Jamaican GPS. I can only tell you two things: Jamaican restaurant and Golden Cross. What you want? You know, you pay for what you get.
I realized it was a bargain. I got, but when the family's in the car, the kids, and you sound awfully sassy.
I'm sassy. You should look at Usain Bolt. He's sassy. He getting 4 medals. You see him running? He's sassy, man. He be hanging out with all the women and just go out and run and still win the race. That's like a Jamaican GPS.
Yes.
That's a Jamaican.
I see.
We're gonna sass you, but you're gonna get the job.
Gonna get the job.
Now don't listen to the others. Don't listen to them others, Asian GPS gonna tell you, well sir, we're going this way. Where would you like to go? They have an accent like East French. But you know what? That's not me. I'm gonna tell you straight. I'm gonna tell you where to go. I'm gonna tell you if you're doing it wrong, and I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna listen to you, but I'm gonna tell you wrong.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think that I'm gonna keep you as long as you get me where I need to go.
But that's the only thing I'm made to do.
Ooh.
So I guess I just make it do. I do what I do. I do my job well.
Oh my God!
I'm
There's
very
a
proud of
truck.
what I do.
There's a truck. There's a truck. You didn't tell me.
My God, Lord Jesus, why you put the truck there? Get out the way. Slow your stuff. What's wrong with you?
You got to do a little better.
You listen. You got eyes? Do I have eyes? No. You were the one with the eyes. You tell me there was a truck. I did not tell you there was a truck. I told you to make a left. You were making a right and you almost hit a truck. That's your problem. These people, when you see people, then you try to understand what's going on with these people. You can't make no sense of them. These Americans, they come all the way from wherever. They're trying to find the next restaurant. He always asking me about a restaurant. They say, you don't want nothing else. You don't need to sleep. You don't need to go nowhere. No, I want to find a restaurant. You just ate 2 hours ago, but you don't want me to tell you that. You just want me to tell you directions, right?
Yes. But, you could... when we were traveling the last time, I was looking for a hotel, and I kept asking you, are there any hotels in the area?
In my area? No. In the area where I could have been? No. Perhaps in your general area. But you know what? We all fail sometimes. My biggest job is to give you direction. Sometimes I don't know where things are, but if you know the address, if you tell me, I can tell you where to get it.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
Just because I am not, the directory, because you didn't hire me to be a white pages.
No.
You hire me for GPS.
Yes.
You hire me to position you globally.
Yes.
And that's what I do. Okay. I just tell you. Am I right when I tell you where you are?
Well,
have I ever tell you wrong where you are?
Well,
I may not have given you the right directions or the sharp road.
Yeah.
But what I did give you was where you were.
Well, that's true, and I was lost.
Hey, I can't help you there, man. If you get lost, I tell you why you did that. But I can't take it all the way back around. You gotta pay more for that.
Well, thank you so much. I think in the future I'm just going to invest a little bit more and get a little bit better GPS.
Hey, you do what you want to do, man. I gotta do my job, you do your job, and we're all gonna get on fine.
But thank you so much.